Okay, so we may or may not be live. My audio will definitely sound like garbage, but we are off into the races. This is a new chapter, ladies and gentlemen. I'm going to edit this interview that I did with the fantastic Tom Nash. First, let's see how fast folks come in. As always, the one to beat is the man, the machine, the legend himself, Mr. Dylan Theus. Also, it's been pretty neck and neck lately, to be honest. Also, just be aware that this probably won't stick around for a terribly long time. Oh, also be aware I set it to unlisted. So it goes. None of that got seen. That's okay by me. I'm just gonna select public and there we go. Select public. There we go. And save. And now we're off to the races with total garbage audio. And we're waiting to see who's going to show up first. Will it be the man, the myth, the legend, Mr. Dylan Theus himself? Keeping an eye on the chat. We are super duper public right now. Everybody who is tuning in is probably figuring out that this is different than the other things. It was Flying Car 100. Congratulations, Flying Car. Apologies for the terrible audio, my friend, but we'll get to that. For right now, we're at the part where we're just happy that OBS worked and that you guys can watch me edit this interview that I did with the fantastic Tom Nash. First of all, just to check in, Flying Car 100, are you able to hear? That would be good to know. I just assumed that the audio is actually going out. For all I know, it's not. And if it's not, then that sure is a thing. That's a bit odd. It says the stream's current bit rate is lower than recommended. We'll find out. We're waiting to see if anyone can hear. You can hear. Okay, good. All right, so what I'll do is I'll mute my audio. It'll be mainly the edit audio. But this is a new friend of mine, Tom Nash. I'll tell you what, man, when somebody is rocking pure confidence and has hooks instead of hands, he's a quadruple amputee, that kind of thing gets my attention. And we got along famously and instantly, and I invited him out to HQ, and I said, hey, I know this is a big ask right out of the gates, but we just met each other. Do you mind if I turn on the cameras? We do an interview. I have thoughts of where this could end up, but for right now, I just wanted to edit, and so I have a multicam edit all set up. Brandon Carpenter wants to know where Jason Murphy is. At the Strangerous on YouTube. That is where to go. And here, let me hit play on this. You guys can tell me if you hear. I'll mute my microphone audio, and then you guys can tell me if you hear this.
He was a guest of mine. Just to close that loop.
Yeah.
I once I met him, I asked.
Were you guys able to hear that? I'll wait patiently to find out, because we got like a few seconds of lag. We will see. Oh, by the way, made some changes. Okay, it's good. Great. Well, then I'm just going to go through this interview. So part of the process is setting up a multicam edit, and I'm just going to live switch between these cameras. You can see here, if we go back to the beginning. There we go. There we go. Shot 1, shot 2, shot 3. I framed each of these because they were all, oh, doggone it, this one's messed up. And the question is, do I want to fix it? I bet I can. Let me see. Want to fix. If I double click on this, no, it doesn't give me what I was hoping for. I'm not going to worry about it. You know what? I'm looking at it. That looks like an artifact of a wide-angle lens. So I am not going to worry about it. Then I'm going to mute my audio here, and we'll do a first pass edit of this interview. Also, this will eventually be behind the Patreon wall. You guys get to see it because you're here live. Congratulations. Here we go.
I do it. I find myself doing it all the time, you know? And even like I was in post for last meal and I'm like, these tiny little adjustments on white balance and I'm like sitting there for like 4 hours trying to nail it. And then I'm like, is anyone going to even notice? Not even close.
Well, and if they do notice, I mean, it's amazing because as the training data gets better and better, all we need is a loose idea of what happened when, and the robots, much like our brains can, will just kind of fill in the gaps.
Yeah.
Okay, so here, we'll do one audio check. So right now, that multicam red thing is showing that we are recording all of the cameras, and while this is herky-jerky, the actual recording should not be.
Right.
And this guy, I just need to set. This is probably the only shot that matters, really.
So your main one's going to be the 2-shot, is it?
To be honest, I don't even know. like I said, it's like I want to get to know you, regardless. And if I'm going to get to know you, might as well also talk. And the vast majority of everyone is just going to be an audio person anyway. There. No, stop. I'm not selecting.
It's interesting to look at the difference between those two cameras, right? Because like your mini one there looks blown out, but also just the skin tones are very different they look great on the big camera.
This is all auto everything.
But look at the skin tones of the one that you're adjusting now.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a big jump. It does look, yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well, here, and this one, I'll go ahead and start recording now. That's fine. So now it's definitely recording on that. And so there's no, shoot, I guess I will have to do a clap slate because there's no audio. All right. If you don't mind,
Can't believe you didn't ask me to do the clap.
I'm going to grab a soda, then I'm going to pee, and then we're good.
Okay. Nobody ever asked me to do the clap. Yeah. Just because I don't have hands doesn't mean I can't clap. Taylor Swift.
Does it sound terrible if I leave this audio on? Is it screwing
I'm
it up
talking
for
about
you
being
guys?
at her concert. I'm talking about the time I gave her the clap. Thanks. Oh, thanks. That's a good thought.
This seems weirdly invasive to be live switching that moment that I was out of the room.
Yeah. Did
Okay, all right. I'll mute myself.
They hire this place out as well. I'm not sure where they hire it out, but if someone comes into town and they're having them on the show or something, they stay here and there's 3 rooms. It's crazy, isn't it? That's your dream, is to host something like that, where you could like put little branded soaps on the towels on the edge of the bed and. Yes.
Video.
And as well, like you're
Check,
paying
check,
for
check.
the idea. Yeah. Definitely, yeah. Yeah. And the depth of it and
God, that does look. That looks better than
it's great, isn't it?
$1,000 should.
Yeah.
Okay. Test.
And as well, like you're
Check,
paying
check,
for
check.
the functionality, obviously, as well. So much of that money is going into the fact that you can do all that shit with your phone and the hand gestures and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So really, the camera's a great deal as a camera.
Yes. Yeah. Oh no. I mean, I bought 3 of them. They shipped one right away because of the big release, and then the other 2 are kind of lagging. And I figured out, this is a human hack, is give a gift, don't be a problem, right? So it's like, the thing I want is, yo, where are my other 2 cameras at? But then I would be being a problem. So instead, I wrote an email to customer service saying, boy, do I love this camera. Here's an unboxing video and me playing with it, knowing that they're going to click on it, knowing that they're going to see 1.7 million subscribers. They're knowing that they're going to see the title, which was, boy, howdy, I love this camera. And then I'm like, I sure can't wait for the other 2. Would love to hear about it. And sure enough, like seconds later, they're all like, they're already on the way.
This is bad advice to people who don't have 1.7 million followers on YouTube.
Well, but the point is, so the version of this that you would do, like everybody who has a favorite podcast, you got to think about the different communication modalities that there are. Put yourself, and I think this would be good practice if everyone did it full stop, but think about what the person you're talking to wants. So let's say you have a complaint about a podcast thing. Then instead of typing an email to your favorite podcast, correcting them on a thing, instead record a 60-second, keep it tight, give them content. So it's the exact same thing. You're still correcting them. Like, for example, let's say I'm listening to a podcast and they get something wrong about fire eating. Instead of saying, yo, you're dumb, fire eating be like this, I might record, hey guys, it's Brian Brushwood. I've been a listener for so many years. I literally wrote the book on fire eating. And you mentioned this fuel, but actually fire eaters use naphtha. It's somewhere in between benzene and gasoline. Anyway, you're great. So now all of a sudden, same thing, I corrected them, but I've given them a gift that they free content. When they get to their mailbag segment of whatever the podcast is, they just drop it in. And also, without ever saying, sometimes people write, hey, if you ever need an interesting person, I'm pretty interesting on there. Like, just talk is cheap.
I like it.
Show up with a gift.
Can I pick up on that for a second? Did you say, do you eat fire?
Oh, yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Talk to me about that, because that's what happened to me.
So, okay, you said that.
I did it wrong.
But you messed up.
Yeah, where did I go wrong? Make me a 60-second video. We'll talk about it.
You know what? Let's bring in the audio listeners. You cut a striking figure. When I met you, a scant 3 days ago, I immediately... and I'll have you describe yourself for the audio folks, but your manner is so confident that I felt like I instantly got what you're about. But for people who are experiencing this only through theater of the mind, how do you describe how you look?
Well, I mean, with hair like mine, you can't not be confident.
Well, I mean, to be honest, very stylish, very stylish.
No, I'm a quadruple amputee. I walk around in everything. I have 2 prosthetic legs, although sometimes people don't really notice that because I wear long pants. Just because I think shorts are very unfashionable.
Well, and also you walk with enough. Again, it's that confidence. Like it doesn't. It never. Even, I just now found out that
you only just found out I didn't have legs.
Yeah. I figured that maybe
Sorry
they
I always keep that up my sleeve or up my pant leg.
Yeah, down your pants. You keep it in your pants.
Yeah, I keep it in my pants. Yeah, I never keep it in. Okay. Sorry, we're getting off track. But more visually striking is the fact that I have 2 hooks for hands. And that's the first thing that people notice about me. And I also have a lot of scars on my face from what happened to me as well. So I'm visually striking in that way. The funny thing was we met up at a Reason.org gig, right, with Nick Gillespie, mutual friend. And we walked into the bar and Nick had picked the bar, I think. And he didn't know that there was already an event happening there. And it was an event for firefighters.
Yes. First of all, we crashed it in like hayseeds, like, yo, where's the drinks at? And meanwhile, everybody's a black tie affair and it says, congratulations, Firefighters Association.
And I'm the only one that would have passed as a firefighter at that point. Like, if we'd stayed there, I would have got free drinks all night.
Well, and it was funny
Nick
because...
wanted to leave because he doesn't like firefighters.
Oh, that's right. No, he definitely has legit, actual, non-ironic beef about firefighters.
He has a bee in his bonnet about firefighters.
So how did you and Nick get on the same page?
I met Nick at a conference which we shared the stage of last year called Dissident Dialogues in New York. And we ran into each other, either in the green room or out the back or something like that. And I was kind of aware of him generally or loosely, although I didn't know a hell of a lot about him. And then when we got talking, I immediately thought to myself, this is one of my favorite new people. Like, that's it. I just love his mannerisms. I love his way with words. He's funny, and we just got chatting, and then I'm traveling the globe right now shooting my own YouTube series called Last Meal.
Which, by the way, buckle up, listeners and viewers, because like this is layers on layers. It's imagine imagine Tom, who is exactly as Tom just described, except for that's the least interesting part of the series, which is all about cooking. Is it specifically a last meal, like you're about to die?
It's the choice of last meal somebody would have if it were the end of the world.
Yeah.
And so it's always posed to them like that. The world is ending. You can have one last meal. It doesn't, and we talk about more than just the meal. We talk about the context, like who would you want to share that meal with? What kind of conversations would you have with loved ones? What was the perfect context of your last meal? And the shoot is like the show itself, is actually a mix. It's just wisdom, but it's like digestible wisdom. So right. That question is a platform from which you can ask so many deeper philosophical questions about someone's life.
Well, and so often, if it is important, you must not say it out loud. And in the cases like nobody wants to sign up for vegetables, but by the time they've had the experience, they're all like, "Oh my God, and I ate vegetables? That's amazing!" And you're like, "Ha, I tricked you. I poured glaze all over it." I don't know. This is mixed.
Well,
metaphors.
people's choice of last meal is always really interesting, and it reveals something about them. But for some people, it's something that reminds them of their childhood. I had one person who requested something that they'd never had before, because trying new experiences was something that was really important to them. And they wanted the last thing. Did you feel a little bit dunked on in that moment where they're all like, "I'm holding up a mirror to you. How do you judge me?" Well, here's the thing, right? I feel dunked on in every fucking episode, right? Because I'm sitting down with some of the most interesting intellectual people on the planet. Some of these people have been heroes of mine for many years. And I would have no other reason to be in a room with them other than that I came up with the idea for this show. But do you feel intimidated? Because 100%. Okay, I feel intimidated sitting here with you. No. We've only known each other for 3 days. Yeah, but we're already past. I mean, it's like we're talking about dick jokes already. Yeah, it's fine. That's true. Yeah. So okay, so you let's go to before. Nick was a guest of mine. Just to close that loop. Yeah. I once I met him, I asked him to come on the show, and he gracefully accepted the invitation. So that's how I got to know him. And it just happened to be coincidence that you were in Austin for South by Southwest. Yes. So we launched Last Meal at South by Southwest just a couple of weeks ago, and we went down to Houston for a week after that to film another episode with an astronaut guy down there, which was fantastic. And then the first week we got to Austin, Lauren and I both got COVID or something even worse. It was like mutant fucking COVID. It's called America disease. Yeah, it was like, I probably got it on the plane, to be honest, because the onset was so quick. But we were supposed to be filming with somebody on the first week. We had to cancel it. And so luckily for that, as I say luckily, we got to come back to Austin to redo the shoot we didn't do. Mm-hmm. And so we're here like last week, and I was texting Nick about something totally different. And he was like, "Oh, I'll have to get back to you soon. I'm in Austin." And I'm like, "Get the fuck out of here. I'm here right now." And so he was like, "Oh, come to these drinks on Wednesday." And that's how I met you. And what's funny is you guys carried yourself with a casual familiarity, and I was the interloper that I'm just like, well, clearly they got a whole thing. Yeah. And then it was interesting too, because, okay, so talk to me about starting the YouTube channel, because I know before that you are already established on the speaking circuit. In fact, we bonded instantly because as somebody who toured colleges with my, punk rock, blood and guts, fire eating, nail in the eye, sideshow, magic show, I was always jealous of the people who made 3 times as much money giving inspirational talks. Yeah. And within their crowd, like, You had the elite status of an instant shortcut to people's full attention because you're the very way you present radiates. Yeah, that's right. I got a story. It's probably pretty good. Yeah. Would you like to hear it? Yeah, that's right. I am front loaded with a little bit of that sort of interesting, I guess you would call it. Pre-interesting. Well, and it is sort of a bit of marketing. It's a bit of, that's right. You can ask. Yeah. It's like, it's the reason that people dress a certain way or just to evoke a particular brand, I guess, or whatever it is. But this, because I had a friend who who told me once, he said, you have pre-funny. And I'm like, what the fuck does that mean? And he's like, oh, like before you say something, I know it's going to be funny, which I mean, he ingratiates me, Danny, a little bit. But I think it's just pre-interesting, right?
Yeah.
So somebody sees me in a bar, they're like, oh, he's got hooks. I really need to work out why.
Yeah.
So it's like shooting fish in a barrel for me.
Oh,
I don't
yeah.
need to develop this personality. It's just happened despite of it.
Well, and so much of, for years, I think in my entire 75-minute stage show, I tell exactly one joke. And even then, I announce I'm going to tell a joke to kill time. But there's lots of moments of laughter. And I was confused. I was like, I'm not telling a single joke. I mean, the show is funny, but I wouldn't call myself a comedian. And then I found out that historically, from an evolutionary perspective, there's a tribe of hunters out, right? A twig snaps. Everybody coils up and is tense, and then out comes a cute lemur or something, right? At which point, everybody bursts into laughter. It's that tension and it's that relief.
Release of the tension.
Exactly.
That's exactly right.
So
yeah.
you get the advantage comedically
That's right.
of pre to everybody talking to you is coiled up, and then
Everybody's heard the twig, and I'm the lemur. Yeah.
Yes, you're the lemur. Exactly. Well, and what's funny is once somebody goes past the threshold, then the two of you become a unit of something, and then they're on the inside as they see another person come in, and because they know that you're comfortable breaking the tension, I assume that instantly creates kinship with everyone around you.
I think so. That's probably the best assessment anyone's ever made of it. But yeah, that's exactly it.
I'm deeply uncomfortable with your flattery, and I'll have none of it.
You guys got me tuned out with your bot discussion. I just had you guys tempted me with a rabbit hole because I thought, wait, are there bots? And then I thought, no, you guys can't be bots because you're talking about what I was just talking about on camera. And then I instantly had the double follow-up thought of like, oh crap, nowadays bots can understand what's happening on live streams. I was like, well shit, now bots can be bots on live streams. Okay, so let me do this. I just realized it's already it took longer to go live than I expected, but let me show you the other shot on here. First of all, am I even full screen on this? Yeah, I guess I am. So these cameras, I was excited to meet Tom, and I was excited to do an interview. And I was excited because I know I have an idea of where I want to put this. And so in the moment, I just sort of turned everything on, and I'm like, whatever I get, I get. So you guys know that I have the new fancy cam, but these three that I'm switching for are only the tiny 2 little itty bitty robot cams. The audio, I'm just thrilled that we got it because I forgot to press record on the audio on the mixer. And I had the mixer all set up to get like pre-fader audio. So it was going to be audio without anything done to it. So you can kind of hear the compression and the gating kicking in on this. I'm going to try to smooth that out. But the fact that it's anywhere remotely close to acceptable audio is great, great news. But let me at least show you guys the cool shot on here. So let's see this. So these are just the audio, which are the regular bots, the tiny bots with digital zoom and stuff. But the lighting was so good that like this looks okay, but it doesn't look nearly as good as, look at the difference between that and look at that. So this just sings. Like, look at how balanced that is. I'm so stoked about it. Oh, wait. Yeah, right? Doesn't that look great? So the other ones are fine. So unfortunately, the good camera only went about 5 minutes before it shat the bed. But you know what? Now's a good time to talk about this stuff. So the rules of YouTube are different than the rules of television or a movie. With a movie or a television show, there's a certain level of buy-in. So you have a reasonable expectation that people aren't going to give up after just the first minute or credit sequence or whatever. Whereas YouTube, it really is bull riding. There's a game that we play called Don't Get Brodied, where somebody gets on stage and a bunch of judges all put their thumbs out, neutral. And the moment one person goes full no, you're out. And so it's bull riding. The game is won by how long you could be interesting. And what that does is that creates a strange incentive not to be excellent in your story, although that doesn't hurt, but instead to constantly be keeping everyone on the hook. And YouTube, first they had views, then people figured out that they could do really short videos that would get a lot of views. And so they switched to viewer minutes, and that incentivized not so much good storytelling, because sometimes a story only wants to be 7 minutes long. It wants a story to be, but people figure out a way to get it past that 8-minute mark for monetization reasons. Now, when you do it for the purpose of gaming the system, you get crappier stories, crappier experiences. But when you do it for, conversely, like this is an excellent interview, and it'll be an excellent interview in audio format only when I release it that way. But per the rules of YouTube, the beginning, it takes a little bit to get hooked. Hopefully 10 minutes in, you guys are into the conversation that we're having. But what that means is you want to front load whatever candy you have. You want to front load it at the beginning, so you'll get enough of a novelty hit so that somebody will hang around long enough to let the wonderful spellcraft of a good story overtake you. So that was a long way to say the fact that this really nice camera craps out just 5-7 minutes in, at least I have it right at the beginning, and it's going to be in the mix. But also has me very, very excited for how good this is going to look when I get all 3 of these and all of the cameras look like this. All right, I'll do questions and then I'll wrap it up real quick, and I'll finish all of this. Enjoy this before I pull it behind the paywall. Let's see. Questions. We were talking about bots. We got British people. Boy, you guys are all over the map. Yorkshire Copper. Is this going to be worth watching? You're damn right, Quilting Bear. It's going to be freaking awesome. More discussion of bots. Dexter says it looks really good. Thank you, man. I'm excited. Salt Boy. Salt Boy, behind the Patreon wall, we've had interviews with all of our guests, but I'm interested to double down on that. DaVinci Resolve, I did not. It was in the mix. I tried everything else, and ultimately, everybody loves to hate on Premiere Pro, but it's got the most robust ecosystem. And so if I'm going to map my brain onto anything, it might as well be that, since we got a increasingly, I'm getting faster and faster right now. Let's see. Feed Me Seymour says we're all bots. And thank you very much, Dylan. I'm glad you're digging all of this stuff. Okay, all right. Well, I'm going to save this for now, and then I will shut down the stream. Congratulations. We officially have something happening here. I should probably set up a little stream deck here so I can just unmute myself when we're doing the post-production stuff. But everything is in, everything perfectly balanced, as all things should be. Hey, Andrew Peck, you got in here just in time for me to wrap it up. But don't worry, You could go back and watch the recorded version. Eventually, I was just saying this will be unlisted and it'll be for patrons only. Yeah, Feeny Seymour, I've done a lot. You should check out the recorded ones. As a matter of fact, I've been live streaming the entire makeover of the entire production facility starting at the beginning of 2025. Hey, Mike, good to see you. And I'll see you guys later. So long. Bye.